6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe, assisted by Chatura, and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The President prepares a national economic policy for the next 25 years. The amended appropriation draft bill will be presented on the 9th in Parliament. The inclement weather affects 9 districts. Investigations are continuing into the fire at the Express Pearl ship. The second Kumbal Perahara of the Kandy Asala Festival will parade the streets tonight. Foreign news. China plans show of force after Speaker Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. Sports 2030 Football World Cup. Argentina, Chile, Uruguay and Paraguay bid to be joint hosts. News in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that he is preparing a national economic policy for the next 25 years. It lays the foundation for a social market economic system, securing development for the poor and underprivileged groups, and encouraging small and medium entrepreneurs. He said the aim is to create a surplus in the primary budget by the year 2025. The effort is to raise the economic growth rate to a stable stage in order to establish a solid economic foundation by the year 2026. Currently, public debt is 140% of gross domestic product. Announcing his policy statement today in Parliament, the President said that the plan is to bring this down to less than 100% by the year 2032. He said if the country is built, the nation and the economy through the national economic policy, Sri Lanka would be able to become a fully developed country by the year 2048 when Sri Lanka celebrates the 100th anniversary of independence. He emphasized that a number of social and political reforms should be made in parallel with the economic growth policies in order to build a prosperous Sri Lanka. The people of the country are looking forward to an extensive political reform process. The President said responsibility of preparing a national plan for social, economic and political reforms is assigned to the People's Assembly by taking the opinion and advice of all stakeholders and acting with full transparency. The adjournment debate on the policy statement presented by the President in Parliament will be held on the 9th, 10th and the 12th of this month. The decision has been taken during the party leaders' meeting this afternoon. Meanwhile, the amended appropriation draft bill 2022 will be presented in Parliament on the 9th, and the 22nd amendment to the Constitution is scheduled to be presented on the 10th in Parliament. The inclement weather has affected 9 districts. It has affected 12,289 persons in 3,037 families. 326 houses have been partially damaged and 1 house has been completely destroyed. The Disaster Management Centre said that 2,374 persons belonging to 485 families have been sent to safe locations. Matana District Secretary Y. Wickremesinghe said that 114 persons in 29 families have been affected in the district. Deputy Director of the District Disaster Management Centre, Deshapriya Bandara, said 3,800 individuals belonging to 850 families in the Kandy district have been affected. Ratnapura District Secretary Malani Lokupotagama said that 1,788 families have been affected in the Ratnapura district. Director General of the Med Department Atula Karnanayaka said that the rains could reduce by the 10th or the 11th of this month. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Attorney General has informed the Colombo High Court that investigations are continuing into the fire at Express Pearl ship when the case was taken up today. The government counsellor, who was appearing on behalf of the Attorney General, requested for a date to report on the progress of the investigations into the fire. Accordingly, the judge ordered to take up the case on the 21st of next month. When the case was called today, the captain of the ship and 3 directors of the local agents of the shipping line appeared before the court. The second Kumbal Perahara of the Kandy Asala Festival will parade the streets tonight. Dalada procession is scheduled to return through Rajavidya after parading the streets along with the processions of Natha, Vishnu, Katragama and Pattini Devalayas. Tusker Indi Raja will carry the sacred casket. Mian Raja and Buruma Raja Tuskers will accompany him. Meanwhile, today is the 6th day of the annual Asala procession of the Ruhunu Maha Katragama Devalaya. An almsgiving took place at the residence of Basnayaka Nilame, Dilshan Gunasekara in connection with the procession today. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Power and Energy Minister Kanchana Wijesekara says that payment for a diesel cargo has been made yesterday and the unloading process begins today. He said the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation entered into 1-year agreement for the supply of jet fuel and it will receive the first cargo between the 12th and the 14th of August. He also stated that partial advance payments were made to gasoline and diesel cargo as well. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
The Commissioner General of Examinations, LMD Dharmasena, said the department will release the results of the 2021 A-level examination before the end of this month. He said that no date has been decided to release them. He further said that the department has to conduct the practical exams for the candidates who were unable to participate during the protest period. And that was Watchlight.
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
On to a bulletin of world news in the headlines. China plans show of force after Speaker Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. The US warns of possible retaliation over Al-Qaeda death. Stephen King testifies against merger of publishing giants. World news in detail. Top US Democrat Nancy Pelosi leaves Taiwan after meeting its president, Tsai Ing-wen, despite warnings from China not to do so. She praised Taiwan as an island of resilience and said the US commitment to democracy there was ironclad. China says it will hold a series of live-fire military drills in the air and sea around the island from tomorrow. Taiwan says the move violates the island's sovereignty and amounts to a blockade. The US has urged its citizens to be vigilant against possible anti-American violence abroad following the killing of Al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri. The State Department said his death could prompt Al-Qaeda supporters of other linked terror groups to target US facilities and personnel. Zawahiri was killed by a US drone in Afghan capital Kabul on Sunday. American horror novelist Stephen King is taking on a new monster, corporate consolidation. The author was the star witness in an antitrust trial to block the two biggest U.S. publishers' $2.2 billion merger. The U.S. Department of Justice called on King to testify about how the proposed tie-up of Penguin Random House and Simon & Schuster could affect authors. King told the court in Washington, D.C. that he felt the move would be bad for competition in the industry. Back to the headlines of the world news. China plans show of force after Speaker Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. The US warns of possible retaliation over Al-Qaeda death. Stephen King testifies against merger of publishing giants. And that ends world news. On to development news. Chairman of the Sri Lanka Ports Authority, Dr. Prasantha Jayamana says constructions of the East Container Terminal at the Colombo port are being carried out successfully despite the current economic crunch. He said they have been able to carry out their entire project work with no hindrance at all, and they have initiated all steps to purchase essential machinery and equipment for the East Container Terminal. He said projects to develop the ports of Galle and Trincomalee are also underway. And that was development news.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Commonwealth Games. Australia is on the top of Commonwealth Games medals table with 106 medals. They have won 42 gold, 32 silver and 32 bronze medals. England is in the second place with 86 medals, while New Zealand is on the third place with 26 medals. England has won 31 gold medals, while New Zealand has won 13 gold medals so far. And on to football news, Argentina, Chile, Uruguay and Paraguay have submitted a joint bid to host the 2030 World Cup. Uruguay hosted the competition's first ever tournament in 1930 and say they want to bring the World Cup home when it celebrates its centenary. President of the South American Football Confederation, Alejandro Dominguez, said this is a dream of a continent. Spain and Portugal have also announced a bid to be joint hosts. And that was sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Ideal First Choice expanded its branch network by opening another service centre in Kurunegala recently. The Kurunegala Ideal First Choice Service Centre on Colombo Road, Vandragala, Kurunegala is the latest addition for customers to purchase brand new auto spare parts. Kurunegala Ideal First Choice Service Centre provides spare parts for all models of motorcycles and three-wheelers with total guaranteed reliability and trust. And that was business news.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
The all-share price index closed in green today as a result of price gains by Lanka IOC, Expo Lanka Holdings and Hales, with a turnover crossing 2.3 billion rupees. High net worth and institutional investor participation was noted in Mastercorp, John Keel's Holdings and Hatton National Bank. Mixed interest was observed in Lanka IOC, Expo Lanka Holdings and ACL Cables, whilst retail interest was noted in Brown's Investments, LOAC Finance and Vascado Beach Resort. That was economic news. On to the weather report. The Met Department says showery and windy conditions are expected to continue in the western and southern sea areas and in the southwest quarter of the island due to active southwest monsoon. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Heavy rainfalls above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the Sabaragamuwa province and in the Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Mathura districts. Several spells of showers may occur in the northern, north-central provinces. Very strong winds about 60 kilometers per hour can be expected at times along the western slopes of the central hills, while strong winds about 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times in the northern, north-central, western, northwestern and southern provinces. That was the weather report, and to conclude this news broadcast, a look at the headlines once again. The President prepares a national economic policy for the next 25 years. The amended appropriation draft bill will be presented on the 9th in the Parliament. The inclement weather affects 9 districts. Investigations are continuing into the fire at the Express Pearl ship. The second Kumbal Perhara of the Kandy Asra Festival will parade the streets tonight. Foreign news, China plans show of force after Speaker Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. Sports 2030 Football World Cup, Argentina, Chile, Uruguay and Paraguay bid to be joint hosts. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.